Hi there, everybody. This is Brian back again with another 100% PowerPoint, and I'm excited because this is the second and final part of our two-part tutorial to teach you how to build out a walking animation. And once you're done with this part, you should have all the building blocks you need to build out your own walking characters, just like you can see on the screen here. But as usual, you didn't come here to watch an animation, you came here to learn how to build it. So I'm going to escape out of here and jump to the previous character that we had created last time. If this character does not look familiar to you, I'd recommend that you go down to the description section where you can find a link to part 1 of this tutorial. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is open up a couple of panels that will make this tutorial a little bit easier for you. So first you're going to want to go to Arrange, and you're going to want to go to the bottom here and open up your selection pane. And next you're going to go to Animation, and you want to open up your Animation pane. And the reason you want these two, especially the selection pane, open is because if you remember last time we properly named all of our different parts of the body so that it was easy to go through and select the ones that you want to select. And this will become very helpful when you're trying to animate everything. Alright, so let's begin. So first of all, what you're going to want to do in your selection pane is you're going to go down to the right thigh and select that, and then also the right calf. Hold down Control and select that one. And then you're going to go up to the left thigh and the left calf and keep on holding Control as you select. And you're going to go up to Animation, and you're going to add an animation. And just add a motion path. It's going to be just the line, so the first one right here. And after that, what you're going to do is just deselect them and select, we'll start with this one over here, the left thigh, or it could be the left calf, it doesn't matter. But you're just going to grab the end point and you just want to drag that, and if you kind of hold it somewhere over the start point here, it's going to snap right into place. And just go ahead and repeat that for this one as well. And next you're going to go down to these ones and you're going to do the same and have them snap to each other, just like so. Next we're going to go into the animation pane. And if you click on the right thigh and then go down to the left calf at the bottom here, hold down Shift and click, it'll select them all. And we're going to set this up to start with previous. And next right click, go to Effect Options. And we're going to change a few things here. We're going to remove both the smooth start and the smooth end, so make those both 0 seconds. Turn on Auto Reverse and then go to Timing. We're going to keep it at with previous, and we want to change the duration to something that's easily divisible by 2, so we're just going to go ahead and make it, we'll say 0.6 seconds. And we want the repeat to be set to until the end of slide. Go and hit OK, and you're good there. Let's go ahead and just turn on slideshow mode and you can begin to see what's happening here. And as you can see, they are moving back and forth. And I'm realizing something here based on what we had built last time, and that arm there is actually supposed to be behind that right leg. So we're going to escape out of here. And this is why it's important to name everything properly. Go back to your selection pane, and we're going to locate that. So that should be the left arm and the left bicep and the left forearm, which right now are up top, or sorry, that's the right. So we're going to go and select the right bicep and the right forearm, and we're just going to move these to the back. And let's go ahead and look at this in presenter mode again. And there you go, now it's behind everything. Next, we're going to apply rotation to the calves here. So let's go ahead and first of all figure out what this angle is. So if you select this one right here, which should be the left calf, right click on it and go to Format Shape. And then go ahead and go to the Size and Properties icon here. Click on it, go to Size, and If you subtract 315 from 360, you're going to get 45 degrees. So you know that's a 45-degree angle. So now you can go back to your selection pane, and you're going to select your left calf and your right calf. And basically what you want is your left calf to rotate at a 45-degree angle, but you want it to be somewhat delayed. And you want it to go clockwise, and you want the right calf to rotate at a 45-degree angle, and you want it to go in a counterclockwise motion. So we're going to go to the animation pane. We're going to go to add an animation, and we're going to go to spin. Go ahead and set both of these up to be with previous, and just because we know we're going to do it, we want it to match up to the motion paths. We're going to set this up at 0.6 seconds. Go ahead and hit tab. And now go ahead and right click with both of them selected. Go to Effect Options. And we're going to set both these up at 45 degrees. And we'll leave that alone for now because we want to make sure we do some of everything all at the same time. So go ahead and turn on your auto reverse. Go ahead and click on timing, and we're going to set the repeat up to until the end of slide and hit OK. Deselect the rotations, click on the right calf, and drag it up to go below the right calf motion path. Hold down Control and select the left calf. And we're going to set up the delay to be halfway between the durations. So set it up for 0.3 seconds and hit tab. Next, we're going to double click on the right calf. And remember, we wanted that right calf to rotate at a counterclockwise motion. So we're going to click on it and turn that to counterclockwise. And we also want to give it a smooth start and hit OK. And now double click on the left calf, and we want it to go in a clockwise motion, so that's fine, but we want it to actually be opposite of the right calf, so we're going to give that a smooth end and hit OK. Next, go ahead and let's do this best practices. Go to your selection pane, and you're going to select the pelvis, and let's add an animation. So go back to the animation pane. Add an animation, and we're going to go to Grow Shrink. Go ahead and set this up to be with previous, and we actually want the duration to be 0.3 seconds, tab, and 0 seconds for the delay because we want that to be in sync with the thighs. And now double click, and let's go ahead and make this, we'll say 55%, and it may vary depending on how wide you make the hips, but you just kind of need to play around with it a little bit. Go ahead and hit tab, and now we want it to just scale horizontally, so click on that. Turn on auto reverse, and then under timing you're going to set the repeat until end of slide and hit OK. And let's go into slideshow mode, and you can see how it looks now. So there you have it. The calves are rotating, the hips are swinging a little bit, but it looks like the hips aren't really going in as much as I'd like I said, so let's escape out of here and double click on the pelvis, and let's go ahead and set that up to 45% instead and hit tab again and hit OK. Let's go to slideshow mode one more time, and that's a little bit better. Now the hips are rotating a little bit more naturally. We're going to continue to work our way up. So what we're going to do is select the torso here, and we're going to add an animation, and we're going to do a motion path. And let's just go ahead and zoom in as close as we can get. So let's take it up to 400%. And select the torso one more time, hold down Control, click on it, and then just drag it down, and if you hold down Shift it will move it up and down just vertically, and let go. and select the start point of that first torso. Scroll down a little bit and select its endpoint, and just drag and hover somewhere around the start point of the second torso. You may have to get it close and play around with it, but what you want to do is get it to snap there so it has a little bit of a motion. And now you can select that second torso and delete it. Go ahead and click on the torso motion path here and set it up to start with previous. And we want the duration to be 0.3 seconds because we want it to be in sync with the pelvis. So hit tab, double click, and we're going to go ahead and apply a smooth start. And also let's go ahead and apply a bounce. And so let's take it up to 0.2 seconds. Turn on auto reverse, and under timing, let's set this up for until the end of slide and hit OK. Now we're going to go take it back out to 100, and let's go ahead and turn it on to slideshow mode. And now you can see that it has a little bit of that bounce there. And we're going to escape out of here. And what you're going to want to do is just select that torso, and we're going to do a little trick here. Click on the animation painter underneath the animation pane button here, and let's just apply it to the head up here. And let's take it in the slideshow mode one more time. And now you can see that it has a little bit of that bounce that kind of happens in sync with how everything's stepping. So go ahead and hit escape. Next, we're going to apply a little bit of a swing to the torso and the chest. So select the chest and select the torso. And we're going to go to add animation. And this time we're going to do a grow shrink again and set these up to be with previous. Change the duration once again to 0.3 seconds. Hit tab. And with them both selected, right click and select effect options. And we're going to go into size, and we're going to change this to, we want it to be kind of subtle, so let's just set it up to 95% for now. Hit tab and just horizontal again. And let's go ahead and hit auto reverse. Go to timing and set this up to repeat until the end of slide and hit OK. And let's turn on slideshow mode. And now you can see that it's kind of contracting a little bit in as it's going. So the one thing I'm not seeing here though is the chest, I feel, needs to contract a little bit more than the torso itself. So we're going to go to escape. And we're going to select just the chest, and we're going to turn this to, let's try 85%. Let's just see what happens when we do that, and just horizontal, and go ahead and hit OK. And let's turn that on. It feels like a bit much, so let's go ahead and we're going to turn it to, let's say, 90%. I like that. I think that's good. And now what you have here is it has kind of like this feeling that the torso is actually kind of moving with the body, so it's not just sitting there stationary. So let's hit escape and deselect. Finally, let's go ahead and go in here, and we're going to animate the arms. So once again, let's select everything using the selection pane. So we're going to select the left forearm and the left bicep, and the right forearm at the bottom here and the right bicep. And we're going to add an animation, and we're going to add motion paths again. And let's zoom in a little bit closer here. And we're going to handle these very similar to how we handled the legs. So Let's go ahead and first select this end path here, and we're going to set it up to snap to this location, and we're going to repeat that for what should be the forearm as well. And now let's do the same for the left bicep and forearm. So go ahead and select it and have it snap, and one more time select and snap. And now let's go to the animation pane. And very similar, we want it to be like the thighs and calves. So select everything here. So if you hold down Shift and select right bicep at the bottom here, click, it'll select it all. And we want to set it up to animate with previous the same way. And we're going to right click, go to Effect Options, and we're going to remove the smooth start and the smooth end, turn on auto reverse, go to timing, and once again we're going to set the timing to be 0.6 seconds, and we want it to repeat until the end of the slide, and go ahead and hit OK. And let's take it to slideshow mode one more time. And as you can see, now everything is kind of moving in sync. But one thing that's kind of missing here is you want that kind of subtle swing of the forearms. So let's escape out of here. So now we're going to deselect, because the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out what this angle is. And I believe that we set this up to be 15 degrees, but let's just check that out. So go ahead and click on this left forearm in the front here. Go to your Format Shape pane, and there you go. Rotation is at 15 degrees, and we want it to rotate 15 degrees in a counterclockwise motion, and we want that right forearm to rotate in a 15-degree clockwise motion. So go ahead and deselect, and we're going to go back to the animation pane. And if you select the left forearm and the right forearm by holding down Control and clicking, go up to Add Animation, and we're going to go to Spin, and we're going to set this up to be with previous and 0.6 seconds. Hit Tab, and now let's just go ahead and right click and go to Effect Options. And the first thing we're going to want to do is set this up to auto reverse. Go up to Amount and click on the drop down menu, and let's just set this up to 15 degrees. And we're not going to mess with the clockwise or counterclockwise yet, because we want to do that on an individual basis. So hit Tab one more time, go up to Timing, and we want to set this up to repeat until the end of slide, and hit OK. Next, let's just grab this left forearm spin, and we're going to bring this up to below the left forearm motion path, because it's nice to keep these animations together, and do the same for the right forearm. Double click on the right forearm, and remember we want that clockwise motion, so we'll leave the amount alone, but we do want to apply a smooth end and hit OK. And then double click on the left forearm, and we want to give it a counterclockwise motion and a smooth start, and hit OK. And one more time, let's go ahead and take it into slideshow mode, and we are done. You now have your fully walking character. I can't tell you how happy I am to have this tutorial out in the world. This has been a long time coming, but I wanted to make sure that I did it right, which is why I broke this up into 2 parts. But hopefully you had as much fun learning how to do this as I had teaching. Post any questions that you might have in the comments section. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to seeing all the great things you create with this tutorial. I did want to announce that I'm working on a couple of new projects, a series that's going to be focused on PowerPoint basics for beginners, and also a more intermediate that's going to focus on animation best practices to help you build out your own custom animations. So keep an eye out for that in the new year. Otherwise, feel free to comment or post any suggestions you might have for future animation tutorials that I can build. And until I see you next time, this has been 100% PowerPoint.